Hi everyone, it's Gwen from Tabby, and today I am here as Mick Frankel's understudy to tell you a little bit about the Hebrew letter Lamed. This card is from the beautiful deck of the Hebrew letters, designed by Mick Frankel and illustrated by James Douglas, and you can see that there's a lot of information on this card. So let's start at the bottom. You see number 30. Why is there a number on this card at all, and why number 30? Because there are not 30 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Well, in the Hebrew alphabet, all the letters are assigned a numerical value. And you might remember in the beginning when Mick did his first video when he was talking about Aleph, he assigned number 1. And as we moved on through the alphabet, we have Base, which is number 2, and we have Gimel, which is number 3. And that continues until you get to number 10, which is Yod. And at that point, you start counting up by 10. So instead of having a numerical value of 11, Kaf has a numerical value of 20. And so then Lamed, the next letter, has a numerical value of 30. And this is interesting if you work with gematria at all, which is the study of looking at the numerical value of words and phrases and comparing them to each other for correspondences that might not be immediately obvious otherwise. So if we look at the adjustment card, you can see that Crowley has the same correspondences that Mick Frankel has put on his card. You have the sign of Libra, and you have the Lamed. Now, Mick Frankel has pointed out that it's kind of a funny looking Lamed. I've seen some Thoth decks where it's a little bit clearer, it's a little bit more like this, but here it really is just kind of a squiggle. And I don't know why that would be the case. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that print type of the Hebrew alphabet was harder to find when Lady Frida Harris was designing the deck, and so she maybe wrote some of them on here freehand. But I don't really know, that's just a guess. One of the interesting things about Lamed is that the esoteric symbolism, one of the earlier meanings associated with the letter and the esoteric meaning, is ox goad. And an ox goad is something that you use, of course, to encourage your oxen back onto the path if they start to stray, or perhaps down another path if you decide that there's a better way to get where you're going. And that's exactly what happens in the adjustment card, so it's a nice association there. When you draw the adjustment card, it means that you have the chance to reevaluate where you're going. Are you still on the path? Do you still want to stay on that path? So that's a nice correspondence there. And if you remember at the first video, Mick Frankel was talking about Aleph, and he associated it with the Fool. So the letter Aleph, one of its esoteric symbols is the ox. So you have the ox and the ox goad together. So what can we do with that? Well, it makes me think that we should look at the Fool and adjustment together. So what does it tell us? If we are thinking about adjustment, if we draw adjustment, and we're being asked to think about the Fool in a reading, what kind of relationship is there between these two cards, and what might it tell us? What clues maybe the Fool has something to offer us when we're interpreting the adjustment card? Let us know what you think in the comments.